Thin keyboards keep getting better and better, and this one might be the best one yet. This is the Melgeek O2, a low-profile keyboard, and it shows just how good thin keyboards have truly gotten. But it wasn't always this way. Since about 2 years ago, things have escalated quickly. Thin keyboards or low-profile keyboards are shorter than a normal mechanical keyboard.
Thick boy, thin boy.
This is nice if you want to carry it around with you because a thinner keyboard means less materials, which makes it a lot lighter. I barely even feel it. Also, if you experience wrist pain from typing, you can switch to a thinner keyboard and that might help ease the discomfort. But unfortunately, you trade those two benefits for a crappy typing experience and a big bite out of your wallet. Until recently, because low-profile keyboards have gone from sounding crunchy and plasticky to thocky and creamy, which, if you're new to the world of keyboards, those are good things. Very good things. And the price? Well, they're still pretty pricey, I'm not gonna lie. We're going to talk about that some more later, but the low-profile keyboard wars are in full effect now. It seems like every month a new one comes out and all of a sudden, it's the best. It's not my fault either, don't shoot the messenger. I just think the keyboard brands have finally caught on that thin is the new thick. Now, I've got a few favorites of my own in this ongoing war, such as the Lo-Free-Flow Lite, my favorite portable option, or the Iquinix MQ80, my favorite for typing, but not so portable. But how does this keyboard fit into the market? Is it the new best, or does it fill its own little niche? Well, while I wish I could make a blanket statement and just say, it's the best, I think it's more the second option, with nuance. It's got its own little space carved out. So then, who is it for? Well, this keyboard is going hard after a very specific group of people looking for a keyboard: Mac users. That being said, even if you don't use a Mac, I think it could be a great choice for you too. But we'll talk more about that soon. Melgeek made this keyboard so that it would work seamlessly on the Mac. The function row has all the same media keys, even the voice button and the sleep button. Plus, they even went so far as having the bigger escape key and the big delete key you usually see on Mac keyboards. As someone who's not a Mac user yet, I did come to enjoy the larger delete key a ton. It just feels right, you know? The board itself also is made to rest on top of a MacBook while you're working on your laptop. I couldn't test this since I don't have a MacBook yet, although I do want to switch to one soon. I'm getting real sick of Windows updates and the ads. But this keyboard is not just for Mac users. You can swap to Windows using FNS. It comes with extra keys for Windows as well, but it is Mac first. So, should you get it if you're a Windows user? To figure out if it's a good choice for you, first, we need to talk about the elephant in the room: the price. When it comes to one of my favorite low-profile keyboards, the Lo-Free-Flow Lite, this thing's $99, and if you're new here, that's a great price. Usually, they have a slightly more premium price tag because they think they're thin and sexy and better than everyone else for some reason. Just like our cat, she knows she's better than everyone. She knows it. So no, I think it's just because they're typically made of aluminum and the low profile switches probably just cost more, and that's why it's more expensive. The Flow Lite is all plastic, but that makes it portable and light, so it's kind of a bonus. But this keyboard comes in at $30 more, so if you're bad at math like me, that's 129 buckaroos, which, even if it sounds and feels great, which it does, puts it in a tough spot. Because minus the world's smallest piece of aluminum in the top plate, it's made mostly of plastic as well. But it does have some other features that make up for it. For one, the gasket mount. If you're not familiar, gasket mounts are basically a keyboard suspension. They make the typing experience smoother, softer, bouncier, and sound way better too. Now, most low-profile keyboards have them nowadays, but I feel like this one implements it really well, and it has a noticeable difference on the typing sound and feel. The bounciness is somewhere in between the Flow Lite and the MQ80, and that's going to be a recurring theme here. This keyboard is right in the middle. At $129, you get the gasket-mounted typing experience for less, and less weight too than the MQ80, but you're still paying more than the super portable Flow Lite. In fact, it's almost like my two favorite thin keyboards had a baby. a baby of compromises. Okay, that's a little dramatic. And just like a baby, it inherited traits from both parents. But the real question is, does this keyboard represent the best of both worlds, or is it more of a weird love child that you should abandon? Before we fully answer that question, let's take a closer look at what's going on here. First impressions out of the box, this thing looks really nice. You've got a clean, translucent polycarbonate case up top, which almost looks like glass, and it gives the keyboard its minimalistic, futuristic look. Definitely a vibe. The bottom case is PBT plastic, which keeps things super lightweight and portable. Although this thing is a fingerprint magnet and a hair magnet for some reason, and it has this smooth but sticky finish to it. Ugh, sort of a ugh. There's technically aluminum here, but it's very small and it's hiding in the top plate. So if you're hoping for a hefty, premium chunk of metal feel, you won't find that here. Then you've got the PBT die-style keycaps, which means they're durable and resistant to wear. They're matte, they're black on white with a burnt orange escape and a nice dark blue enter to tie it all together. But let's talk about the font choice for a second, because it's quirky. It looks like some weird hybrid of Greek and sci-fi lettering, and the O's are not even letters. I think they're zeros, which I guess is supposed to be some cheeky branding. The keyboard's name, after all, is O2, like the air we breathe, and it has that name because apparently this keyboard is like oxygen? Don't breathe keyboards, children. Do books, not keyboards. Real quick, if you want a sneak peek into our future content and other keyboards we're currently testing, considering joining our YouTube memberships. It's $5 a month and you get bonus videos, sneak peeks, and more. Click that join button if you're interested, and now back to the keyboard. Another interesting detail, and I mean interesting in a what were they thinking kind of way, is the toggle switch on the top left to swap between wired Bluetooth and 2.4G. And it's hidden underneath the edge of the keyboard. I didn't even realize this was here for at least a week because the font is white on white, because who needs to actually read it, right? But weird design choices aside, connecting the keyboard in each mode is easy, seamless, and quick. Plug it in via USB-C and it's instantly recognized. If you flip it to Bluetooth, the pairing mode activates automatically. I love how simple and easy it connects. And it even comes with a cute little Lego inspired USB dongle. Oh wait, I can't actually say Lego, can I? It's brick inspired. It also has RGB, baby! But since the keycaps aren't shine through and it tends to drain the battery faster, I think the best backlight is no backlight. There are some small lights on the sides that poke through the translucent case, and you can turn these on or off with a few keyboard shortcuts. And another thing I didn't notice until using it for a while are these indicator lights on the front of the keyboard. Now, I don't know whose idea it was to put it there, because you can't see them when you're using the keyboard, so they sort of feel like a waste. There are 3 total lights right here. Yeah, right here. The first one is a caps lock indicator. The second one is for battery. You know, green is full, yellow is half, red is, oh god, please charge me now. The third is your connection mode. White is wired, blue is Bluetooth, green is 2.4G. But like I said, you have to really kink your necks to really see it, so I don't even know why they added this. On the back is a really interesting kick-up feet situation. These are magnetic and are held in this recessed area. You can pop them in and put them to the side, get yourself a more aggressive typing angle, and it's supposed to lift up your keyboard. Not sure why you would use this on a low profile keyboard, because the goal is to keep it as thin as possible, but I guess what really matters is the front height of the keyboard. It's pretty dang low. It's just a hair higher than the Flow Lite, and a true low profile mechanical keyboard, unlike the Iquinix MQ80 that was more of a medium profile since the front was so tall. Typing on this keyboard has been a real treat. It's definitely a more subtle, muted typing experience than both the Flow Lite and the MQ80, but I found it really pleasant and enjoyable. It probably has the most relaxing sound of all of them and is great for working in a shared space. The stabilizers under the large keys also feel great, no complaints there. And the switches are something called the Sunlight switches, probably because they're yellowy orange and they have a clear housing. They definitely feel on a heavier side, and it's the only switch option, but I do enjoy typing on them, except that it's the only option. It would be nice if there was a lighter switch or a tactile switch or something, anything. Speaking of options, it only comes in one color, white, and one size, 75%. Most of the competitor boards come in white and black, and they usually have a larger 96% size too, with a number pad, but not this one. You're stuck with this, the only option. And when you get the keyboard, it comes with a nice cable that has some words engraved into it like chicken dinner, you know, if you're a winner, and good typing, because we all need a little encouragement sometimes. Yay. You also get the extra keycaps I mentioned, along with some stickers and a keycap holder. And there's a quick guide as well, which has all the important shortcuts and stuff listed on it. I wouldn't lose that if I were you. And to really see why it sounds so good, let's see what makes it tick, or in this case, talk. And this is where things take a turn for the worse. Nay, I would call it the nosedive. You see, as I went to take the thing apart, I encountered a problem I never had before. I couldn't figure out how to take it apart. Sure, sometimes it's hard to pry open the plastic case or find the hidden screws, but this one was extra difficult. So I gave it to Jake to figure it out.
So I've tried taking this thing apart, but I can't figure out how to open it. I've tried looking for screws, but as you can see, there's just no screws anywhere. And sometimes they're hidden underneath these little legs here, right? But there's no screws. So my thought was you just like pull on it like this, like get your fingers underneath and pry it. But no matter what I do, it doesn't come off. So I even tried like prying it from the inside here too, but it didn't work. So I just don't know if I can take this apart without breaking it. And since I only have one, I don't think we should take it apart and break it.
So while I usually like to take apart a keyboard in every video to get a better idea of the foams inside, unfortunately, I'm going to have to skip that part. Instead, I'll show you the graphic from their sales page. And I reached out to Metal Geek after, and apparently it's impossible to take it apart without damaging the keyboard, which absolutely sucks if you want to tinker or mod it or repair it someday. This keyboard is also supposed to have browser-based software that you can use without downloading, but I'm not sure if it's ready at the moment. When I went to their website, all I could find were these different options for download. I don't want to download. I asked Metal Geek about that and haven't heard from them, so I'm gonna assume it's not available yet. So while I really like the keyboard and I feel like there's something special here, there are a couple of question marks still left unanswered, such as the software and the overall repairability, which does make me question whether it's worth it or not. So even though it's a great keyboard and it's fun to use, it's a little tough to recommend fully at the moment. But here's how it sounds. And if you like this video, check out my favorite keyboards of 2025 right here. Pretty good.